Hello and welcome to the Dinosaw for week 42. Another 7 curious, interesting things I saw last week. So as ever, let's crack on. First one is from Adobe Max. This is their big conference where they give you sneak peeks of all their latest stuff. Now this is actually Project Primrose, which has been out for a while. You can have a look at the research papers and whatnot. But this is the biggest garment they've made to date. It is essentially the front of a dress if you look very carefully. The back doesn't really exist. However, what it is lots of tiny little scales that can change their tint. So they're just like privacy glass you'd maybe get in a posh hotel. So they can either go light or dark. And that's what's happening here. So it's interactive. You can press a button. You can change the pattern of your garment. So that's kind of interesting. And this kind of faux interactivity here where you can maybe make a liquid effect or whatever. So I thought that was kind of neat. Now, there's also some other directions this can go in. There's a thing called perovskite LEDs, which can be put on a stretchable membrane, so the actual LED stretches itself. So if you want a glowing dress, for instance, then maybe perovskites are something we should be looking at as well. But some really interesting research into color changing or maybe pattern changing garments. This is out of Disney. This is their IROS robot, and this is from Disney Research in Zurich. And we've seen robots before, clearly. We've seen bipedal robots, but now starting to put animators, which is what Disney have done in this case, which is why it's noteworthy. They put an animator in with their robotics team. So the robot itself has been learning how to get over stuff using reinforcement learning. So it basically just figures it out by itself. But then there is a human involved who can then give it personality whilst it's doing it. So it's kind of cute. It knows what to do, but it also does it with style, a bit of swagger basically. So really like where that's going, where robots now have a little bit of personality and they can be seen to be friendly as well. Not all robots are bad. This is the Piper Sandler report, comes out a couple of times a year. This is the fall or the autumn one, i.e. it's American. However, 9,000 teens were surveyed and some predictable and similar results to nearly everyone that has happened. However, there's some interesting changes as well. Now, it's broadly speaking applicable to Europe and some other territories as well, so it's worth a look. So interesting things, so Nike, iPhone, 87% of US teens have iPhone or expect to have an iPhone as their next phone as well. I thought was interesting about Amazon being their delivery or their shopping of choice as well, and also that Netflix is actually just by a whisker more popular than YouTube. There's some interesting things in there if you read some of the detail. Use of VR devices has actually gone down, but ownership has gone up. So more people have bought them, but actually less people are using them, which is not a great trend. However, there's more in there. The infographic has 2 pages to it, and that's free. If you want to buy the full report, you have to buy it. Now this is a curious thing. So Google have been toying with generative AI in search. It's only available in America at the moment, as far as I can tell. If you go to labs.google.com/search, it will tell you pretty bluntly whether it's available to you or not. Definitely have a look at that. But there's also a URL you can go and find out about it. Now, what I thought was useful or interesting here is, what is Google's role in search and what is truth? So they actually state in their documentation, essentially, have you ever searched for something and you couldn't quite find it? In which case, we'll make it up for you. I thought that was a really interesting brand decision of Google to say, if you can't find the image, we'll just make it up. So what is the role of Google and truth in search? Now, if this is where they're going, that's quite interesting. It's blurring the boundaries. However, watch out for that one. See where that is going. This is a wireless ForceSticker. This is out of University of California, San Diego. And it's kind of neat because what it does is it can measure the force, i.e. the weight of something on top of it, but it doesn't need any power to do it, or at least it can actually be powered externally. In this case, it's sort of an RFID tag similar to what's in your credit card. So what it does, you can see some applications here. If you squish it, it will then tell you how much squish is on top of it, and it can communicate that if you energize it. Uses in this case may include, for instance, packaging. You can stick it to the bottom of packages and it'll tell you how much weight is in that package, or whether, quite frankly, your Amazon package is at the bottom of a massive pile of it. But also you can imagine medical or any other use really. So if you've got a knee joint, they can embed it in the knee joint itself, and you can actively monitor the health, or at least the stresses on your joints. So lots of other uses, no doubt, but thought that was interesting. Well done, liked that. Now, this is a report out of Mozilla, i.e. the web people. They have a proud history of privacy, and that's kind of their shtick. They've done a report, or they've updated their report about essentially how private things are, and cars have really come under their gaze in this case. And nearly every car that they looked at, nearly every car brand kind of failed in their very simple test of privacy. It's really interesting reading. Go to the website, have a click on probably the car you have, if you do have a car, obviously. And it's a pretty damning report on each one of those manufacturers about what they not only track, but also what they allow you to, or what they track of you, but also the terms and conditions that you probably sign up to and what they sell as well. Nissan got a call out for being the worst offender. Now, some of the things that they actually track on you, and they don't really tell you how they track them, but it's in the terms and conditions: sexual activity, immigration status, race, facial expressions, weight, health and genetic information, location, where you live, where you drive. All of that is available, and they can sell it and reuse it as well. So cars are leaking your data left, right and centre. So definitely go and have a look at that. If you have one of these cars, see what they're doing with your data. Finally, if you wanted a new sport, well, she's not really a new sport. It's been out for about just 8 years or so, like that, as an event. Now, watch the one on the left-hand side. You're about to hit a target in a wingsuit. So just between those two pillars, you can see that target coming, and smack. So you essentially hit it with your head. Now, this is amazing. This is the 9th running, and this is the Grand Prix event in China of wingsuiting. So if you do want something dangerous to do for the weekend, then, and you didn't know this sport exists, then welcome to Wingsuit Target Striking. There you go. Hopefully that was interesting. If you did find it interesting, then do sign up, share it with somebody, and all that sort of good stuff. And I will see you next week.